Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Karin Dina, and today I'm going to talk to you about some of the really important things that I wish I had known when I started eating a mostly raw plant-based diet 25 years ago. In fact, there's a lot of things that I really wish that somebody had told me when I got started. But you know what? Back then there weren't as many resources in raw food as there are today. Back then we only had a few different raw food books, and I only knew a handful of raw foodists. And so hopefully the information I'm going to talk about today will help you in your raw food journey. So my first tip is move at your own pace. When I got started with raw food, I totally thought that I needed to be 100% raw right now. I didn't really realize that I could transition. And when I started getting into raw food, I found that I needed a little bit more time to become familiar with how to prepare food and where to find food and all of those kind of day-to-day important considerations that we need to be aware of when we start a new type of eating program. Percentages vary by person. And for me, I find that being somewhere between 90 and 100% raw works very well for me. And I encourage you to find the percentage that works best for you. Now, the most successful people that I know understand this, and they tend to be flexible in their approach depending on their personal needs. What dietary plan gives you the results that you're looking for and is sustainable for you right now? And what is sustainable for you long term? What is ideal for you personally? Tip number 2 is gather information, lots of it, and from multiple points of view, not just from your current point of view. The reason why I say this is because when you're gathering information from many points of view, you may learn things that you might not have learned if you had just been looking for information that supports your current point of view. And by the way, when you search for information that just only supports your current point of view, that's called confirmation bias. So I encourage you to gather as much information as you possibly can from multiple points of view. So many times I have learned really valuable information from people who have a slightly different point of view, or maybe even a very different point of view from me. And that information has made a difference in my health. So I encourage you to gather information from many different sources. While we're on the subject of information, when I got started with raw food 25 years ago, I had so many questions. And most of these questions were not answered by the raw food literature that was available at the time. So I promised myself that one day I would write a book that had the answers to these questions that I was wondering about. And that book is the Raw Food Nutrition Handbook, which was just released earlier this month, June 1st of 2015. So if you're interested in raw food information that's based on reliable, peer-reviewed science, please check out this book. It's available on Amazon.com and other booksellers. Tip number 3 is know your source. Know where your information is coming from. Here's a couple of examples. Some people have a tendency to follow one particular person's point of view. I encourage you to get a variety of different points of view. The reason why is because we all have different experiences. And I've seen sometimes some raw food educators changing their mind about things that they've learned about nutrition. So it's important to get a variety of points of view because nobody can know everything. If there's a product that you're interested in buying, understand the information behind it and know that when somebody's trying to sell you something, their interest is in making a sale. So do your homework, do your research, and decide whether or not that product is best for you. Definitely ask questions. And if you need help in making a decision, you can always enlist the help of a qualified and experienced healthcare provider to get another point of view. Tip number 4 is be selectively open-minded and use critical thinking. Now, critical thinking involves gathering as much information as we possibly can about a subject while remaining open-minded to more information that may come our way in the future. Now, I've seen this many times in my life, not just in nutrition, but in other aspects as well, because I'm constantly learning more and more information that may change my point of view. So critical thinking can be extremely valuable. Tip number 5 is make changes when or if they become necessary. And this tip is kind of a summary of the previous 4 tips, which would involve gathering as much information as possible about a particular subject, in this case raw food nutrition, making a decision based on that information while staying open-minded to more information that may come your way in the future. And a great example of this is that when I became interested in raw food nutrition 25 years ago, I took a particular approach that worked really well for me at the time. And then as time went on, my needs started to change, and so I changed my approach. So essentially, my approach to raw food has been involving, for the past 25 years, constant refinement depending on my situation. So in summary, our tips are: move at your own pace, gather information, lots of it, know your source, use critical thinking, and make changes when or if necessary. Thanks for watching. And for those of you interested in learning more about our online and in-person classes, such as our Science of Raw Food Nutrition series, please visit our website at rawfoodeducation.com. And for those of you interested in lab testing and nutrition consulting, please visit our website at rawfoodconsulting.com. And if you found this information to be useful or interesting, please like, share, and subscribe.